Well, I made it back from my big trip, and I was able to get on the bike again when I got back, which I was kind of surprised that I could. When I got back, the weather was horrible. I've been back for a week now, and when I did come back, it was very cold and it was rainy for a while, and it didn't really look very good for getting on the bike again, especially when November clicked around. But we're a few days into November now, and it was just warm enough to go out for a little while today. It's actually on the verge of being a little bit too cold, but I didn't feel right about not getting in one or two more rides before I actually called it quits for the year. There is one day next week that I'm not working where it actually looks pretty good, so I'm going to go out that day as well. But it could end at any time now. It's November, and it's definitely much colder than when I did the majority of my videos this summer. And unfortunately, it's just a matter of time. I'm still hoping that we have a mild winter like we did last year, but that's something we won't know until it actually gets here. As far as the trip itself, it was amazing. It was one of those things that I never thought I would do, and I'm so glad that I did go. I took so many pictures, it was unbelievable. I posted a lot of pictures on my Facebook page, and there was so many more that I didn't post. Most of the pictures I took were of the same thing. I posted the best pictures that came out that I wanted to show other people, and not that the other pictures were all crap. There's a lot of other good pictures too, but man, I can't even, without actually going back and counting all the pictures on my camera for the counter, I can't even guess. I mean, maybe 300, 400, 500 pictures, maybe something like that in the course of 10 days. Vegas was Vegas. It was what I thought it would be. Experiencing it was totally different. Being there was different than I pictured it, but what I thought it was, as far as the nightlife and the people and everything else, it was pretty much how I pictured it. It wasn't a disappointment or anything, but I really enjoyed it. The rest of the trip involved Bryce Canyon in Utah, the Grand Canyon, the Hoover Dam and Meteor Crater in Sedona in Arizona, and all those were spread out through the course of 10 days. We stayed at some places multiple days at a time. Other things like Meteor Crater in Hoover Dam, it was only a few hours that we spent there as we were passing through to go to the next place. But those two things, you really can't spend a lot of time there. They're more of like a tourist attraction where you go and see it for the day, for the majority of the day, and then continue on. Where the Grand Canyon and Bryce Canyon, you could actually stay there and do a lot of activities, a lot of hiking, a lot of extra things other than just seeing the scenery and seeing the canyons for themselves. And I think out of everything, I've mentioned this to a few other people, Bryce Canyon was the most beautiful place we went to as far as the scenery and how it looked. And I took some pictures of the sunrise one morning, and they came out amazing. I was so lucky that I was able to get the pictures that I did. And I tried the same thing at the Grand Canyon, but the pictures just didn't come out. Holy shit, that's cold with the shield up. I tried the same thing at the Grand Canyon with the sunrise pictures. It didn't come out nearly as good as it did at Bryce Canyon. There's a spot where it's shaped kind of like a bowl. If you picture like a horseshoe and how it curves around, there's like a whole part of the canyon where the sun rises and it shines right into that bowl, and the colors and everything that it shows off is just amazing. I got a lot of pictures of that. I got a ton of pictures at the Grand Canyon. We're only from, but it was fun. I saw a lot of the Grand Canyon. I hiked a lot of the trails along it. It was definitely a a very good time. We got very lucky as far as the weather. The only day that it was cold was the day that we had left Utah. They got down into the 30s that morning, but that's to be expected for that time of year up there. The rest of the trip was really great. There was amazing weather. It was 70s and 80s and a lot of sunshine. The only day that it rained, and ironically the only place that it rained, was in Vegas on the last day that we were there. It rained a little bit the night that we got there, the night before, and the last day that we were there during the day it rained in the afternoon. But other than that, it was really good. I have a lot of pictures that I took. I'm obviously not going to post them all for the video, but I'll grab a few from each location that I went to and throw them on at the end. So the people that watch this video that are not on my Facebook page and have access to all the pictures that are in my albums, you can at least see a little bit of where I went and what I did. And I have a few people on my subscriber list that are from out of the United States, and they may have never gone to the Midwest of the United States before, so it's something that they may want to see as well. And I mentioned to a few of the people before that the best part of the trip, out of everything that I did, all the places I went and all the things that I saw, was very early on when we were still in Utah. We went out to one of the local restaurants. It's like one of the only 2 or 3 places to eat at where we stayed during the non-summertime, because everything else was closed for the season. We were in line with these 3 people from Australia that we had just randomly started talking to, and the restaurant was extremely busy that night. And one of the workers came around and asked if there was any parties of 5 or 6 people, and we had been talking with the 3 of them already, and there was 3 of us, and one of the guys from the Australian group said, "Hey, there's 6 of us here." So we all got a table together, and just all the stuff that they talked about, all the stories that they had. It was a middle-aged couple who had been retired, and I believe that guy's brother, and they spent the majority of their time just traveling everywhere. He told me he had been to over 60 countries: Dubai, the United States, England, just all kinds of places. Everywhere you could think of, the guy had been there. And it was just so crazy to hear all of the stuff that he had to say, not just about where he lived in Australia, but his experiences of going to these other countries and all the places he had gone to and things that he had seen. And my only regret about the whole trip is that at the end of the night, after we'd had dinner and we all talked and shared stories and experiences with each other, I thought real quick I should grab their picture. I should grab my phone and just take the picture of them, just something to always have. And I didn't do that. And I'm going to probably always regret that. I wish I had done that. So no matter what it is in life, if you get that little voice in your head saying to, hey, do this, do that, or whatever it is, just make sure you do it, because I'm never going to probably run into those people again. And it's just a shame that I don't have their picture. I remember what they look like, but I just still regret not taking their picture. But it's something that you don't think about until after the fact, but I just wish I had done it at the time. I hope that I can throw together maybe 1 or 2 more videos this year. I know they've definitely slowed down a lot since the weather turned, and obviously I couldn't make any for almost 2 weeks when I was gone on this past trip, but I'll try and squeeze out a couple more at the end. Days like this, it's not too bad riding. I won't feel how cold I am until I get off the bike and actually get warm, and then you actually start to get cold again, which is ironic. But while you're riding, you get that chilled feeling where you know you're cold, but you don't really feel it. It's not until you get off the bike and get into a warm area, like inside the house, or stop somewhere and go inside for a while, where you really feel how cold you actually are. I'm not really bundled up at all. I'm not one that usually puts on a lot of layers to go riding. I just don't like it. I don't like the feeling of not being able to have the movement that I can with wearing just summer attire that I wear for when I'm riding. I don't have anything on underneath my pants. I have a long sleeve shirt on with my t-shirt on and my heavy late fall jacket on and my regular summer gloves, and that's it. I don't really bundle up for riding at all. There's a lot of people that do and ride much deeper into the season than I do, but I hate losing the dexterity of my limbs when I can't move around on the bike as much. It just feels too cumbersome and restrictive. I don't have anything planned for the bike next year. I pretty much like how it is. I don't plan on changing anything or adding anything. I haven't had a bike for a long time where when I put it away for the winter, I had no intention of doing something to it in the springtime when I got it back out. And it's kind of a nice feeling because I didn't really do a lot with the Red Bull CBR when I had it this past spring when I started riding. And it felt kind of good not to have a project lingering over my head all winter long that I wanted to complete. And it's the same way with this one. I'm just not going to do anything with it. I don't feel as though I need to. I still have the Bike of the Year competition to enter on 600rr.net. I have to go through my pictures to see if there's some there that I would like to officially put in for that competition. If not, I'll try and take a few more before that. But that is coming up for next month, so it's something I should probably do soon. And like, it was absolutely amazing. If you've never been to the Midwest of the United States and you wanted to go, you should definitely go. Sedona, Arizona was beautiful. Bryce Canyon, the Grand Canyon. Utah was an amazing state. There was so much more out there in all the places that we didn't have a chance to go to, but it doesn't matter where you go or what you do, just go out there and find your own thing to do. It was a truly great experience, and I'm so glad that I went. And I would like to return there someday. Time will tell when I'm able to do that, but it's definitely something that I would like to do. I'd like to go and spend a little bit more time in Vegas than we were able to, because the trip really didn't involve going to Vegas. It was mostly flying into and flying from Vegas, but we did spend a little bit of time there. But I would like to spend more time there, and there's other places out west that I would like to go to as well. But if it's something that you thought about doing, don't hesitate to do it. You only have one go around in this life, and don't live it with regrets and things that you wish you would have done. Don't reach the end and be ungrateful and regretful of the things that you never did. You really have to go put that foot forward and just do it. I mean, I finally did it, and it was just so good to finally go out there and see all kinds of stuff that I wish I had always seen and done. So don't hold back, definitely go ahead and do it. And I'm gonna close this out and head back home. I'm on the route to the direction to head back home now anyway, so I'm gonna go home and hopefully not be too friggin' cold when I get off the bike. But I'll see everyone again in a few days. I'll probably post the new video a few days after I make it. I'll try and spread it out a little bit from this one, but I'll be back in touch. See everyone soon. Later.